I'm Mark Cleghorn and welcome to the Photographer Academy, and we're continuing our customization of the SMUGMUG site. In this film specifically we're going to be looking at customizing folders globally, then we're going to be looking at customizing a folder by itself, as well as building custom pages and kind of giving it its own look and feel, including some tips and tricks about adding a wash image into the background. We're also going to be looking at changing the theme, changing fonts, looking at colours as far as the usage throughout the whole site is concerned. And then finally, we're looking at changing a static page into a stretchy page. So without delay, let's get into it. So let's go and change the portrait page. And as we can see here, basically we've just got large galleries running across here. So I just want to go in and customize that page. And I've got to look at whether I want to affect just this page or all the folders, of course. That's something to be aware of. So let's click onto Customize and Customize Site. And obviously remember that whenever we're picking up anything that is in blue, it is affecting all folders, as you can see here, yeah? And everything that's in red is affecting all sites. It's very important to remember that, of course. So as far as the breadcrumb is concerned, do I really need that? No, I've got good navigation across the top. I'm happy. So I'm just going to click that off and remove that block from all folders. Then I also want to kind of move the block content up a little bit, because I think that's just a little bit low. So I'm just going to click into the dimensions. And I'm just going to top dimension, I'm going to put that to 15, and I'm going to press done to that. So remember that was across all of the folders themselves. I'm just going to press done and publish for a second. Just good working practice really. Once more, back into customize site, and now I just want to make this folder separate to the rest. So I'm going to have a similar looking background and feel and everything else, but now I want to kind of change the way that these all kind of show up. So I'm just going to go into the tools, and then I want to change it from grid to perhaps the collage portrait. And by that it will make it look like it's just hanging across the background there. Photo size, let's make them a little bit bigger. That's great. Going to press done to that. So it's almost like they're kind of pegged onto the wall or stuck onto the wall. I quite like that idea with it. So that's pretty good. But I just want to go in and add in a little text box just to the side here. Just paste my text I've already got together. And just separate out once more. Crease in my header. And then just that crease in the text size as well. Clicking done to that, and then just going in once more and reducing that dimension down. So that's 50%. I just want that to around about 20%, and that makes it look pretty cool. So happy with that. Now obviously if I wanted it to run across all my folders, I should have done that with all the folders selected and not just, as you can see here, this folder only, of course. So that's good. I'm just going to click done and publish. So let's look at the wedding page next. And this has got kind of big galleries visible here. So let's go into customize and customize site. I've only really kind of touched on the customization of what we're doing here, because obviously the more advanced you are with web design, you might even want to look at something like HTML and CSS or get those custom designed for you. However, the beautiful thing about SMUGMUG, of course, is that everything that we're doing here is achievable by anybody. Okay, it just might take you a little bit longer with less experience and so on, but as long as you think about what you want your site to do, you can pretty much create anything that you're trying to achieve. So with this wedding page here for a minute, I'm just going to click once again on make this folder custom. So it's just going to affect this and nothing else. I'm just going to get rid of these galleries for a minute just so I can kind of start clean. Just going to go remove. Start with a text box, just dragging that in, pasting in my text. I'm going to adjust those headers to be the same again. Remember, the reason I'm not kind of applying this across multiple folders is because I didn't want them all to look the same. I want them different. Just going to click done there. I'm going to add in a video. and you can stream from YouTube as well. I'm going to have this inbuilt. This is one I've uploaded to SMUGMUG already. Just going to click into video. Can find my wedding one. If I go backwards and use that wedding one there. Again, clicking done. So because this is filling in all the widths, because it's in the stretchy design, I definitely don't want the text to be as big as this, but we'll kind of come back to that now in a second. And I put on the autoplay. Click done to that. Then I'm just going to go in and add the navigation of the folders and galleries here. So just clicking it underneath the video. That's got the folders that we already associated, so that's good for me. And I'm just going to make this video just a little bit bigger. So just coming into the dimensions, I'm going to make it 75% of the size. I'm going to click done to that. And that's totally changed the page layout. Once more, clicking onto done, publish now. So I think that's a pretty cool wedding page. Navigation's along the base here, kind of clicking straight into these galleries. And because the galleries were separate when I removed the breadcrumb here, they're still there, so they can still click backwards if they still wish to move back to that last page that we were in. Okay, commercial. So let's just do a quick customization here. Make that folder again unique. I'm just going to put it into the style change. Away from grid, go into a collage portrait. I think it looks a lot better. Simple design and things really. I think I'll just go in here and add a bit of a slideshow. Just run into the side of these images, of course. Go and choose the gallery. Clicking onto food. Once more in the playback, we'll just make that quite quick. Just 2 seconds. 1 second transition. Switch all the controls off. Back into the basics part. Yeah, that's good. Just making sure that it looks kind of balanced onto the page. There we go. Clicking done to that. Before we finish the film, let's just go and show you how to develop a custom page look to stand alone by itself. I'm just going to go into Organize, and within the portrait gallery, just clicking onto the folder here. So create page, just call it the dance project. I'm just going to click create on here. So by double clicking into the dance project, remember that this will appear underneath the drop down of portrait because it's in the folder of portraits here, even though it's a page and the others are galleries. Clicking into dance project, clicking on to visit it on your site, and we can see it's a blank page here. So let's go into customize site. And it's important to this point, I want to make sure that it's just highlighted blue, just this page. So I'm just going to affect in this page itself. So what are we going to do? Let's look at having a background photograph. Let's look at the stretchiness. Let's look at customizing font colors and so on with it. So the first things first, let's come over to the themes. And we're going to go and change the theme within here. So we're just going to click it on the tools, and this is where we can go in and change colors, but I'm not looking to do that. I'm looking to go and change the fonts, and I'm going to choose one called Freckleface. Cool name for a font. And there's hundreds and thousands of fonts in the world, so I'm changing both the heading font and I'm going to change the body font as well. Change those to the same text style, which, as I said, is that Freckleface. Next is a decision whether I want to change my text color. As it is now, it's in black, but I could go in there and change it to whatever color I want. So this is just down to you, so it depends on how kind of cool you want it to look or how naff you want it to look at times. I'm just going to keep on the black for now. I'm just going to press tick for that. I'm going to create done. So you can see here, oh, I forgot to give it a theme. So it's called the dance project. Create done. So you can see here both the breadcrumb and all the other text on the page is in that unique font that I've given just to this page. Remember that. Let's just go and add in some content for a second, just so we can see how it's going to perform. Just going to click down to here. I'm going to open up the photo by clicking onto it to reveal single photo, multiple photos, or slideshow. I'm going to drag in a slideshow. Just drag it in until the highlighted green pops up. Go and choose a gallery. I've just got the dance project already uploaded at this stage. I'm just going to click done. And this is going into the middle of the page, so it looks pretty cool. But I want to move away from this kind of textured white wall background for a minute. It's not that I don't like it by any means, but just so we can kind of go ahead and kind of look at the difference of the page designs. So going over into backgrounds, I'm going to click onto photo in the type. I'm going to change the photograph by clicking onto here, and I just want to go to galleries on site, dance project, and we'll just choose one of these images for now. So you can see we've got the background running here. It looks quite dark for now. We'll kind of just go and affect that now in a minute. I want to add in some text as well. So go to content again, just go to text and drag over some text onto the page. Just paste in our text there. Once more, make that into a little bit of a heading on the top. Make the text just a little bit bigger as well. Clicking done, and you can see it's black text on here. Obviously, we've got this very, very dark photograph running in the background. If I didn't have that photograph in the background, so just click back onto backgrounds, and I just go to inherit from site, you can see that it really jumps off the page without any trouble. It doesn't mean that we can't go in and use the black text or whatever. We just need to choose a different photograph, a lighter photograph, to go onto the background itself. So let's do that. But I want to use that same photograph, in fact. So I'm just going to make it lighter. Let's just open up a photograph in Photoshop, and I'm just going to go and cheat. I'm going to use the automate, and I'm going to use the on-one software Perfect Effects. And I'm just going to go and get one of my presets is already made up here, which is called SMUGMUG page, smug background. There we go. Click apply to that. It's going to change the photograph qualities a little bit. Nothing here that we couldn't do within Photoshop itself. I'm just going to enlarge that background by just dragging out the crop bars just a touch. Just when I double click on that, it'll show it's kind of got these squares in the background, which means that the background's invisible for now. But if I click onto the background image, which is the original, there's the photograph, onto here, and I just click shift backspace, that's going to fill that with white. Now what I'm going to do, the image on top, I'm just going to reduce its opacity down. So I'm just going to press onto 3 or 4. That's 3 in fact, so that's fine. And I'll just flatten that layer and I'll save it. Dance project. Background 1. And press save. That's OK. So we'll go back to SMUGMUG, and we'll keep this page design by itself now. I'm going to just go and upload a photograph, but I need to go to organize first. So I'm just going to click on to done for a second, and I'm going to save for later. Doesn't mean I've lost any of those changes at all. It's just not going to apply it to the dance project here, as you can see. So I'm going to go to organize for a second. So let's just upload an image. So let's click into the dance project again and click to upload, click to browse, upload that photograph, pressing done, and once more just going to click onto the dance project, click in to visit the site, customize now. See that it remembers what we'd done before, but it hadn't published it because obviously we told it to save for later. Now clicking into background, getting rid of the background that's there, clicking onto there, galleries on site, clicking into there, and there's our light image. And that's a simple way to kind of create the background and obviously go in there and save the text as well. One thing that you want to do is if you're going to go in and save or change text in here, you need to create themes. You can just go in and choose whatever you like and then go in and of course and hit the tools. You're going to need to go in and save that of course. That's pretty much done. Let's preview it on the screen, see what it's going to be like. I think we should make this into a stretchy page again. So just pressing exit, clicking into layout, go into stretchy. Now we'll just go and minimize the size of the text box so we can get a much bigger slideshow on the page. There we go, let's preview again. I'm not sure if I like the dance project breadcrumb on there, so once more just going to exit and just get rid of the breadcrumb. Remember, this is just on this page we're adjusting at this point. Yes, remove that content block. Press done. Publish now. And it does give a complete unique look to that page. Let's not forget, of course, that when we click onto any of the above here, let's go into a portrait for a minute, because that's where the dance project page is. If I click onto Bumps and Babies, we bring it back to the default theme that we've set up already running across the whole page. Once we click onto the dance project again, it gives it this complete unique feel away from the rest of the site. So don't be afraid if you like a kind of a funky different look to pages you're going through it, especially if you're a young photographer, you want kind of funky design so it's interactive more. You can really kind of spend as much time as you want and kind of change every single element. For me, I'm an old guy. I like the kind of the classics, so most of the time I want the user experience to be consistent running throughout the site itself. So to finish off really, the thing that we've got to remember that every site is customizable, and it's customizable to what you want to do with it. So in other words, if you like a dark site with the dark themes, then you select that. If you want something light with textures like I've just finished off here, then that's what you can kind of use. If you want to go to the full customization, you can do that as well with HTML and CSS. But it's all based around customization. It's dragging content in or taking content away, looking at that content and seeing how you want it to perform on the site, whether it's as simple as making images small, medium or large, whether it's going in and changing a design through the likes of the themes. It's totally down to you, and that is the great thing about SMUGMUG. Anybody can do it. It just depends on how far you want to go with your site. So if what I've been showing you here in the basics of customization to the site is not enough, of course you've always got that option to go through CSS and HTML. So I'm Mark Clegg for the Photographer Academy. I'll see you next time. Bye bye.